Hello, I'm Amy Timoney from UK Public Relations, and welcome to this edition of Behind the Blue with President Eli Capilouto. We're here to talk about the start of the new academic year. Can you believe it's already here?
It's one of my more exciting times of the year. This and graduation, when we bid people farewell after they've had what I think can be a transformative journey. So yeah, this is a special time of the year.
This, if I'm doing the math right, is your 15th move-in?
Starting my 15th year at the University of Kentucky.
So tell me just a little bit about, over the years, what have you noticed about our students, and maybe how have they changed or not changed over the years?
There's certain things that don't change. Students and their families, who you get to really see it move in, come with dreams. We want to be part of making their dreams a reality. And also, it's a time to begin discovering yourself, who you are. We hope that all of our students, when they graduate, have preparation for lives of meaning and purpose. The experience at the University of Kentucky, I think, can help you define what that meaning and purpose can be. It's certainly going to evolve over time. So to see those young, fresh, sometimes a little apprehensive faces, to know that hopefully 4 years or less from the day we welcome them, that they will leave us with a little more certainty about where the compass of life is directing them.
I know I feel like we talk about this many years, but we are expecting another record enrollment. What can you kind of tell us about that based on preliminary figures?
Preliminary figures, every year seems to be a record year. You know, everyone had a little dip during COVID. We have bounced back strongly. So pleased that more and more Kentuckians and people from all 50 states, all 120 counties, 100 countries, make the University of Kentucky their first choice. And why that is particularly gratifying to me is there can be no one department, one initiative that's responsible for that success. It takes everybody. And the University of Kentucky is a community, a family. It embraces those that come to our campus as family. And not only do we welcome them as family, I can proudly say that over time, year after year, even with record enrollments, more and more students come, but more and more students graduate in a short amount of time and at higher levels. We're over a threshold that puts us in the top 100 of universities of our type in terms of your likelihood of success. And that too takes everybody.
When you think also about the last 15 years, I know as someone who's worked here for that amount of time as well, you think about the campus and how it's transformed. How important has that been in the growth of the university over the years?
Mary Lynn and I, that's my wife, made a sneak visit to campus a few days before the interviews for the finalists. We had read a lot about the University of Kentucky. It was the first time we had visited Lexington. I'd heard Dr. Todd speak at a conference years before, and he talked about his business plan that left a positive impression. I also remember when the state of Kentucky announced Bucks for Brains, which was transformative as well. So I had these positive impressions. When we got to campus, we got excited immediately. Gee, could we be part of rebuilding campus in a way. Always believed that talent and infrastructure were strong ingredients to success. I'd read so much about the University of Kentucky, I knew it had extraordinary talent. Dr. Todd, in his top 20 business plan, talked about adding facilities, research facilities, and so forth. Remember when I arrived, we were coming off of the Great Recession, 2008. The economy had cooled. Funds were not available to invest in campuses. Things were starting to thaw. And, we thought, gee, wouldn't it be wonderful, take advantage of this timing and so forth, be part of rebuilding the campus. Since I looked at these numbers the other day, we've invested $7 billion in the campus. It's 9 million square feet. It's for our students to better learn together, live together. We built nearly 7,000 residence hall beds in a compressed amount of time. I think it's the quickest transformation in the country. Those are oversubscribed. We had to double up some of those rooms to accommodate everybody. We're having to build more. Thanks to the state of Kentucky, we built the Health Kentucky Research Building. That too, busting at the seams. And then our healthcare facilities. Those who came before me had a simple but profound dream. No Kentuckian should have to leave home for the very best of care, no matter how sick they are, and no matter how complicated the treatment need be. And again, we have more demand than we have supply of rooms. So I like to say, because of everybody, over the last decade, I think our enrollment's gone up by 10,000 students. We've nearly doubled the number of students who leave with a degree or credential. We have doubled the research to some $500 million a year, have to go out and compete against the best. And our hospital discharges, that's how many people you treat in a year, have gone from 44,000 to 77,000. And I think the people that turn to us have it right.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and even now, especially if you're over by like the Arboretum and you look back over campus right now, the cranes that are in the air. So it's even continuing, especially over on the health campus. And that's, I guess, what is that representative of in terms of our growth? You mentioned the discharges, but how important is that going forward?
We had a group of legislators visit our campus today to get a firsthand look, last week, to get a firsthand look on this transformation of campus. And one of them remarked he had been in Chicago recently. And he said he recalled one crane there, and there were 7 he counted on our campus. That growth that you noticed is our, on the health component, is the cancer and ambulatory subspecialty care. It's a 500,000 square foot facility. Right now, to get cancer therapy, which is, challenge both physically and emotionally, you got to move around 7 buildings on some days. So we're going to be able to make this easier on our patients, convenient parking and so forth. But the other cranes you see are really the revitalization of our Martin Gatton College of Agriculture, Food, and Environment. In the heart of our campus, it had been used most recently by our HR departments. There was a sort of an original extension building, I think, constructed in the early 1900s. Well, that will return to use by the Martin Gatton College of Agriculture, Food, and Environment. And then I always want to tip my hat to Mr. Gatton and now the Gatton Foundation, $100 million gift. Part of that, certainly for programming and all, but we are constructing a new agricultural research, science, teaching facility right there. So it's not just health, it's something that goes back to our roots, agriculture, food, and the environment.
When it comes to the growth, and you mentioned some numbers in terms of research, how important is that to the university and to Kentucky to continue to grow that research enterprise?
I think what first comes to mind for me is when I turned to our vice president for research, it was Lisa Cassis at the time. You recognize you can't do everything, but where should you focus? And my interactions with campus, the interactions with the board, her interactions with campus continues now with our acting vice president, Ilham Masadi. It is a reflection of who we are as well, because the choice of our investigators and the direction that our board endorsed are to tackle Kentucky's most significant challenges. So when we chose research priority areas, there were things like opioid misuse, cancer, diabetes, obesity, cardiovascular disease, and also moving into what we see as part of the future, advanced manufacturing. A challenge for Kentucky has always been in the area of energy, all facets of it. That was a priority area chosen by our campus, endorsed by our board of trustees. So I think who we are is a reflection that we listen to our fellow citizens. We are here to advance Kentucky in everything we do. I don't have to go out and convince anybody of that. I think it is within them. So you take infrastructure, talent, people who care about Kentucky, and a curiosity that drives a culture of innovation, and you can do those things that advance Kentucky.
You mentioned the healthcare growth, and you mentioned the Board of Trustees. Tell me a little bit about what last fall the board directed the university to do in terms of kind of the overall health of Kentucky and UK's role in that.
Yeah. Every year, we dedicate one of our trustee meetings to a retreat, a time to reflect, assess what we're doing. We provide readings in advance, but they've been meeting throughout the year. And we come out of that retreat with a little more direction about what we should do. What the board observed, and we've always shared proudly, is a lot of what we've been able to do are through partnerships. Whether it be UK Invest, we partner with Fidelity. Every student at the University of Kentucky has access to an investment account. We've partnered with Apple. We partnered with what is now an international company to rebuild our residence halls. We partnered with another international company to provide more food venues, lower prices, higher quality, greater selection, higher purchases of local produced goods. So, you've had all this success with partnerships. You partnered, and then 2 hospitals became part of UK. We need to do more for Kentucky. We need to be more. We can do it together. How can we advance Kentucky together? We'd like you to go roll up your sleeves and do that. So we developed something called the Advancing Kentucky Together Network. We've had partners, and considering other partners, from Pikeville Medical Center to now Transylvania University. And realizing that we all share sort of some common interest and common goals. What can we do together to further advance Kentucky?
And the directive was something that I think seemed pretty bold, right? I mean, in terms of helping Kentucky be the best and helping Kentucky to improve the health of the citizens. And I think that that's something that a lot of people are thinking about right now on campus, since there's been so much discussion about. I also do think that you hear a lot on campus, and I'm sure you've heard about just some of the challenges and the uncertainty that people might be feeling because of certain state and federal policy changes and discussion of the changes. I guess talk a little bit about, what you could tell campus about kind of how we're dealing with everything and how we're moving forward right now.
My hope is, and it can be hard on certain days, that we don't get distracted from why we're here. You're right, the board, when they asked us to advance Kentucky together, there was an emphasis on health. We need a healthy workforce. We need a larger workforce. Kentucky, unfortunately, faces a higher likelihood of health challenges than other states. And our board wanted us to be recognized of universities of our type to do more, be more when it comes to advancing the health of our fellow citizens. So a lot of things we do, we think we can leverage some of our current capabilities and assets, like extension offices in all 120 counties and dozens of health affiliates, what we do in our Markey Cancer Center affiliates. We have stroke care partnerships. Wow, how can you put all this together to prevent disease, treat disease, and so forth? And then to, many things that are largely happening at the federal level. They come quickly, often in the times of executive orders or letters. We try to respond and comply. That is the choice we have. And at the same time, stay true to our commitment to advance Kentucky, do what we've always done, keep our doors open widest to Kentuckians. We're a place that has always been, since its inception over 106 years ago, a place where you come with a dream and we offer an opportunity. And if you work hard, we're going to be your partner in succeeding. And it's something that you can take with you for life.
The other thing that I think you've talked a little bit about and people have talked about a little on campus is, I guess, not just in response to what's happening now, but just going forward, how the university is going to be looking a little bit more into integrating some of its efforts. Can you talk a little bit about kind of that and maybe next steps for how we're going to look at that a little bit more in the future?
Yes, the President signed the bill passed by Congress that has implications, consequence, I'm going to say opportunity too, for all that we do. I'll use as an example reimbursement for services for individuals who seek care and have their health insurance through Medicaid. We evolved one of the most progressive programs in the country in terms of preventing disease. For us, the University of Kentucky, to receive reimbursement through Medicaid, we had to put 20% of our potential reimbursement at risk. And to earn that, we had to make certain the population that we treated had their mammography screenings, their colonoscopies, all those kinds of services that can better detect disease earlier and consequently save and extend life. We had skin in the game, you could say. And we improved year after year in terms of extending those services to the patients we treated. Those programs have been starkly changed beginning a couple of years from now. Significant reductions in our payments for those services commence. We can't wait for 2 years. We have to find efficiencies, ways to be more effective now. So over the next 12 to 18 months, we are looking at opportunities for what we call shared services. And this can extend to our partners in Moorhead and Ashland. We've learned through our partnerships we have expertise there that we may not have on our campus. So, how do we come together and do things even more effectively? We hope we can find savings as we go forward, but the reason you do this first is to improve the quality of what you do. Because when you do that, you're going to find the efficiencies. And efficiencies can come from greater demand for what you do, the use of technology to make work more effective and easy for people to do. And as you grow, you can save the expenses that we may have typically had to fund as we grow. So that's what we're undertaking here.
When you think about the next year, we've discussed, especially the last few minutes, some of the challenges or opportunities, as you would also say. What are you looking forward the most when you think about this coming academic year?
I look with optimism towards the resourcefulness of this campus. I've always believed that whatever came our way, we never shrugged, but we never let it anchor us. We found a way forward. So things that we may not fully understand or agree with may come our way. But we cannot lose sight of our North Star, and that is to advance Kentucky. It is a noble calling. We have a precious legacy, a rich tradition that for 160 years, and think of what we've weathered here. World wars, stock market crash, Great Depression, 2 pandemics, but we always got back up on our feet. And the reason I felt like we did that over time and during the time I've been here is people care about Kentucky. And that's how I hope people will remember us. Those who come 160 years from now will say that during our time, despite the challenges, we cared and we did more for Kentucky.
As we begin this academic year, is there anything else that you want to say to people across campus, faculty, staff, students?
What I should have said first is thank you. I can't keep up with everything we do. Every day I happen upon something that maybe not a lot of people know about. It's usually a small goodness that makes a big difference. And I know invisibly there are thousands of those acts of goodness and kindness that are made possible by the people who work here and call this place their home away from home. And it fills me with gratitude and pride.
Thank you so much for your time today and for talking through so many things going on across campus and how we're moving forward. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you.
And thank you for joining us on this Behind the Blue.